Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we talk about the latest trends of the stock markets. Well, we have seen that today there has been a debut of two companies that had got their IPOs launched in this month. One is Bikaji Foods and the other is Global Health, and that is Dr. Naresh Trehan's led Medanta group of hospitals. Now, how have the listing come about and what can you be really doing, Greg, post after the listing? What should be investor strategy? That's what we are going to be discussing today. Joining in with me is Mr. Kranthi Bathini from WealthMills Securities. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out. We have been discussing this buzzing IPO space of late. And now the debut performance has come about. We are seeing that both Bikaji has listed at 321 odd rupees per share, and Global Health has listed at 398. So it's a premium listing for both of them from the issue price. So what do you have to make of the kind of listing they have done? And did you expect this kind of a listing for them?
First of all, Sakshi, good morning. Both the stocks are entered into a positive territory this morning after yesterday's some disappointing listings like Fusion and all. So the mood is on. Both the stocks are different. One is from healthcare, the other one is from the snacks business. So both have a stellar listing. We can say Medanta had a stellar listing. So coming to the business prospects, there is a complete buzz in the healthcare industry right now. The peer group comparison, if you do, all the stocks which are in the hospitals and healthcare business, they have been rallying. Stocks like KIMS and the other hospital stocks also rallying. That added some advantage for Medanta at the right time of the listing. Coming to the prospects of Medanta is concerned, the Global Health is concerned. One thing is, it is the stock is a one-man centric stock. We can say that you mentioned Naresh Trehan, and the geography where they operate is completely towards the east and the north. So keeping in this context into the picture, we need to see how the Global Health is going to be a pan-India player, and they have been focusing on the rural-centric and the tier 1, tier 2 city kind of business model they have. So how these metrics are going to play for Medanta in the next coming quarters is the crucial thing we need to look in. So I will educate the investors as they have the stellar listing. And if we see the previous history of the IPO, the saga of IPOs, there is a sudden spurt in the IPOs, and after that there is a cool off that's coming into the IPOs. So what I educate to the investors is probably they can take some partial profits at this point of time, and after the cool off, okay, they can seriously enter into the stock again. They can do some partial profit booking. That's what I can educate to the investors at this point of time.
So this is for Medanta, you're saying, or for both?
Yeah, the Medanta, they can book some partial profits as there is a significant buying interest that has been coming. We need to see how the follow-up buying that's going to come into the stocks. So as the trading day progresses, they can book some profit, partial profit. While coming to Bikaji, थोड़ा सा खट्टा है, थोड़ा सा मीठा है.
That's right.
Abhi they can wait for some time because the valuations looks stretched for me at 8,000 crores for this company. So थोड़ा सा मीठा ले लो, खट्टा होने के पहले. So they can book some profit if there is a sudden spurt in these stocks.
That's very, very interesting way in which you put it. So for Medanta also at this point in time, the suggestion is for all those IPO allottees who got this allotment to actually try and book some partial profits as we are seeing a spurt, because usually as per the trend in the past, usually we do see some kind of softening after a very, very sharp listing. In the due course, and then you can perhaps look at re-entering the stock when there are any dips. For Bikaji, just like how you pointed out, sir, it's going to be an interesting stock to watch out for, both positives and negatives. At this point in time, perhaps to book some profits will actually benefit more for the investors. For Bikaji, how are you looking at the valuations at this point in time? You did say for Medanta, they looked a little stretched. For Bikaji, what about?
At the same point of time, because also the stock is trading at 8,000 crores market capitalization. For a stock which is into snacks, there are companies like Westlife. They are available at a much favorable valuations with the global brands.
Yeah.
There we need to see how the next coming quarter results, how they are going to maintain the earnings momentum. These are the crux for these kind of companies. So if there is a sudden spot in the stock as the day progresses, where early hour of the trading day. So once there is a momentum, investors try to book some profits today or tomorrow.
Okay. Also wanted to understand from you, both these companies are in a different sector. Both of them have very strong brand recall as well. Bikaji Foods is a household name for all those who like to munch on snacks for sure. It's an almost everyday buy. Medanta definitely because of Dr. Naresh Trehan that you said, the kind of image that he has built, that has definitely led Medanta to become, one of the largest players in the north and the eastern region as well. And they are going to be expanding and getting more hospitals. The next one will be the Noida hospital as well. But apart from the brand recall, does it, of course, Bikaji is the first of its kind that is getting listed on the stock exchanges. But for Medanta, do you believe the space has already become some crowded? We have seen some many healthcare players really enter the fray in the last couple of years too.
Sakshi, what I can see in Medanta is they have their strengths in some healthcare domains. Okay, that is their expertise of business model. So even though there are some kind of peer groups are there with Medanta, and how they are going to position themselves and how they can increase the hospital capacity. These are the business dynamics that are going to determine the earnings of the companies in the coming future. So investors need to think how their expansion plans and how their capex plans, how they are going to maintain their debt and the margins. These are the crucial parameters one need to think. While coming to Bikaji, as you said, the snacks business, India is a population of 130 crores and 64 crores population is less than 40 years. So there is a headroom as the disposable incomes are going up. And these are the snacks kind of companies that are going to highlight. When I have to compare with the global peers, of course, there is a lot of headroom. But when compared to the Indian peers here in India, valuations looks a little bit stretched. How they are going to progress, how they are going to progress in the urban as well as rural. These are the business dynamics that are going to drive the revenues for Bikaji is concerned.
Okay, understood. Any key challenges that you think Bikaji will have to face, especially because Bikaji also is it is a byproduct or it comes right from its parent company Haldiram's, and both of them coexist in the same kind of a sphere. Do you think that could actually risk some kind of cannibalization in the same space that they are in, or perhaps there could be a no compete clause that could come in future? Right now, it doesn't exist, but in future that could be something that investors should keep an eye out on?
Yeah, you made a very important point, Sakshi. Investors need to have an eye. And also, one thing we need to create is, one thing we need to keep in our mind is, okay, people are becoming health conscious right now.
Yeah.
And try to avoid the junk food. Okay. So these are the dynamics that are going to play really for these kind of companies. So people are preferring home foods and trying to avoid some kind of outside food or packaged foods. These are the things one need to consider while taking any kind of serious investment decisions.
That's very true. Also, how do you really look at, I mean, like when I spoke to the management, they said that, we are looking at really expanding our foray in the frozen foods business, which also is, a big space where we are seeing already all the other FMCG majors already make an entry right there. We are seeing more and more stores have this frozen food as well. On the one hand, the world is getting more health conscious, but on the other, we also need to, save time. We need quick access to food. Is that something that could give additional margins, additional growth opportunities to Bikaji?
Definitely, Sakshi, it looks like an additional growth opportunity. There is a lot of headroom. But in this kind of the overcrowded space, even in terms of the frozen foods also, how they are going to maintain the margins. This is extremely important for a player like Bikaji entering into the crowded space of frozen foods. Maintaining their margins and increasing their brand image is the crux. That will not happen overnight. It will take a couple of quarters. So we need to watch this space carefully, how these companies are going to be panned out over a period of time. But the existing things are concerned, it is fully priced in at this point of time at 9,000 crores market cap.
Okay, and so let's now move on to understanding more Medanta specific issues. What are the key challenges as per you? Is it going to be the high competition in the space? Is it also going to be the high attrition of nurses that they have reported? I mean, it's over 50% or so. Is that a major concern?
Yeah, as you said, there is an attrition problem, but they can manage at this point of time. It is a minuscule, but the challenge is going to be how they are going to be positioned. The focus is completely unreached medical healthcare areas, or they are going to get into the metros, and how they are positioned with respect to their margins. So this is the balance they need to make. As the motive and the vision of the company, it says they want to get into the areas where it is the healthcare is not reachable to the rural and tier 2 areas. So building the network, managing the pricing in these locations is the bigger challenge going ahead, and how they are going to expand to the south and the other pockets of the pan-India presence is extremely crucial for Medanta in the days to come.
Right. Okay. Also wanted to make a point from what you said. You said that we need to see how they expand and where all they expand. In my interaction with Dr. Naresh Trehan, I asked him that, why are you not really looking at the top metros to launch your hospitals, and instead are launching in, the perhaps, other cities like, you're widely present in Gurugram, now in Noida, in Ranchi, in Lucknow, in Patna. So those kind of cities you're launching in, but not in like top metro cities in India. So his focus was on how to provide healthcare to those places where it is not available at this point in time first. Do you think it is the right approach for Medanta?
One thing, they have a business, the vision to reach out the unreach of where the medical services are not available. At the same point of time, as they are right now listed, they need to show the balance sheets. They need to show the margins. They need to show their quarterly earnings. So this is the crux. They need to maintain. They need to show to the public and to the investors. So as long as they are reaching their vision by giving a good margin, good rewarding shareholders, there's no problem.
Okay, understood that. Well, for now, let me just quickly give a check to all our viewers as to how both the stocks are doing. Well, Global Health is trading at 401. So there is a substantial upside from the issue price that we have seen for this one. And even Bikaji Foods is trading above 7.5% premium or 8% premium to the issue price as well. Right now, if we see, the stock is trading at... I'll just quickly see how the prices are moving at this point in time as far as Bikaji is concerned. There's a definite move on the upside, and that is despite the market's momentum being subdued. One more point before I talk about those stock prices, that do you think the market momentum, which is subdued right now, almost flat, these stock prices could have moved even further if the markets were on a higher level at this point in time today?
Yeah, that would have made some kind of sentiment change, and also it would have given some more push to the prices, Sakshi, as what we are witnessing is a flattish opening in the market in the opening of the trade. We need to see how the day progress. As yesterday, we opened with a sluggish start. As the day progressed, as the European market supports for the Indian markets, finally we closed in a complete green zone yesterday. So we need to see, this is early hours of the trade at this point of time.
Okay, so quick check on the prices now. Bikaji Foods at 321 rupees or so, 7% uptick right now is what we can see. And when you talk about Global Health, that's definitely a winner because we've seen a 19-20% off jump and 402 as the current prices as well. But as Mr. Bathini really suggested, for all the investors, for both these companies, it would be wise a decision to actually take some profits off and remain invested with the rest and start to get into in the stock and make a fresh entry as well whenever you see the future dips as well on these stocks. And what is important for us to look at is how consistent they are in their earnings performance going forward from here, and whether the challenges that they face right now get immediately mitigated or not. That's something that we will keep an eye out on. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Bathini, for being with us and sharing all your thoughts on both Bikaji Foods and Global Health listing as well, and helping all our viewers really understand the key strategies that they must adopt at this point in time on these both stocks. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure, Sakshi. Amidst.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care.
Bye, sir. Thanks.
Good day.